even doing this. We're not even. So one day I used the bathroom and I legit just put the seat down. And the entire toilet cracks. The entire, like, water just comes and flows out. And Amanda just hears me scream.
And no one's going to believe that you didn't sit first.
I was like, that's what I was thinking. And the first thing she comes out, I was like, I didn't even sit down. That was like the first thing I said. You ready? Did I tell you about the poem?
I feel like maybe I saw it in one of your other ones, or no?
Okay,
You told me about it. Somehow, vaguely, I remember.
It's somewhere in the brain that there's a poem gonna happen. Well, this season I started, it was actually, a friend of mine was like, you know what, you should do something like really creative at the beginning, and like poetry's really cute. And I was like, oh my god, that's so smart.
Aww.
And so now I've been picking a poem that's about diamonds of some sort, and like I have now like a list of different poems, and I'll kind of go through them and see if they see which ones fit my guest. So this one is handpicked for you, not written for you, like not written by me, but handpicked for you.
Intuitively chosen. Yeah, exactly. I love this.
And this one's a little bit, I don't really know what makes a poem, but this one's a little different than other poems I've read.
Sounds up my alley already.
But it's called You're a Diamond, Darling, and You Dazzle Like No Other. And it's by Chris Crest, spelt with K's, Kriz and Krest, Chris Crest. A reminder to not lose sight of your core, to always remember that you are made by a skilled craftsman with care. That things sometimes take a while, but once formed, there's no stopping what you could become. There will be so much pressure before you start to dazzle, but you are built tough, and like a diamond, you will survive. And as all things with value, you will not be for everyone. You will be for someone, but not everyone. Remember that you are rare, you are strong, you are beautiful, and you will shine bright. That's what you are made for. That's what's always been what you're made of. You are a diamond, darling, and you dazzle like no other.
So you just start this off by like trying to make people cry.
Yeah, pretty much now. Yeah, that's
No,
that is pretty much what happened.
Beautiful, and I resonate with so much of that. And I love darling. How cute is that?
Really, right?
You don't say darling
Come on.
enough.
Did anything like stick out for you with it?
I mean, even the opening line, I'm all about being true to your core. That is like my main purpose and passion and what I want to like help other people to do. So it's just all in there, and we just have to listen and tap in.
Yes.
So I love that.
Yeah. One of the things that stuck out to me, obviously, like the whole diamond and pressure thing. So it's kind of cliche, I guess, for me at this point. But there will be so much pressure before you start to dazzle, but you are built tough, and like a diamond, you will survive. Like, that's so crazy, because like I'm all about like intuitiveness and listening to the universe and stuff like that. And there's so many times, and like one of my biggest things too is like the universe always has my back. Like in really tough times, I always try to remember the universe has my back. Like I may not know it or see it, why
there's you no ill will.
Yeah, exactly. And there will be so much pressure before you start to dazzle, like resonates to me, because those are the moments where like I doubt, like, damn universe, like, is this really, like, you looking out? You sure? Are you sure?
What am I doing wrong here? Because this does not feel
like,
right.
Really?
But then you always get past it, and you do see why and where those diamonds came through. And can I just say congratulations on the wordplay?
Oh my god!
I am such a nut for wordplay,
Yeah.
so I'm like, this is the best.
It's so and it's funny because I've talked about it maybe in like another episode or two, but I have this idea because I started off in comedy. That's like where my first love is and stuff like that. And I always wanted to produce my own comedy shows and stuff, and I did that for a while. But like turning coal into diamond show, or it's just like it didn't fit. And I had this idea of turning coal into diamonds, and I just like never knew what was it gonna come about, or where it was gonna show up. And then finally, when I started the podcast, or was thinking about doing a podcast, I was like,
there it is.
There, you know. And it was like an idea that I sat on for like I want to say like maybe 5 to 6 years, something like that. So like I finally get to use this, and it was
perfect time.
Yeah, it really was. But welcome to the podcast. Have you been on a podcast before?
I was thinking about it. I was like, have I? And yes, there's been a couple.
Okay, perf.
Yeah.
So you're an intuitive consultant coach, or am I saying that correctly?
Yes. I'm a certified life coach. I like to call it intuitive consulting because I don't really tell you what to do. We kind of draw that up out of you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I feel like that fits better. But
I love that too because it does take intuitiveness too as well. But
on both parts.
On both
the
parts,
coach
yeah,
and the
totally,
person. Yeah,
totally.
for sure.
What inspired that? Like, because you already you said that you're always at the beginning of the poem, the core, and like bringing that out of other people.
Yeah.
Like, what made you drawn to that?
I mean, like you say with this podcast, we all have those like cool moments, right?
Yeah.
Many of them, honestly.
they keep coming, you know.
I could make a necklace with all the coal to diamonds we have. So, but some stick out maybe more than others.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
what I mean, or more pivotal for some reason.
Yeah.
Why I got into help. I mean, I've always had people come to me. You know what I mean? For advice, whether that was a wise choice or not, they did.
Oh my goodness, that's very me.
Go to the right place.
People literally, I'm like, okay.
You're either gonna get good advice or a wild opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. One or the other. And I loved that. You know, I loved that people trusted me.
Yeah.
It also was like, my mom, funny enough, you know, complicated relationships with mothers, but one thing she said about me, one of her realizations about me was people can come, you don't tell other people stuff to other people. And I think that's important when people are coming and telling you stuff, because we're creating a situation just you and me,
for sure,
where we're going to talk about something, and I'm not going to take liberties that that's something you want known for everyone else. So I think that helped people open up more. And to me, it's it's just we're working with it in the moment, and then you go on about your life. It's not something I'm holding. So.
Totally.
But I would say why I got into doing this professionally was because of my probably most salient, biggest cool moment. Yeah.
Okay.
And that was, how do I get into this? I was raised very...
Take your time.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the word here because I don't want to alienate, because it's not really about the specifics here.
Totally.
But I was raised in a religious organization that really, you just kind of followed the rules.
Yeah.
You were given everything you believed.
Yeah.
You didn't have to think for yourself. You were encouraged not to think for yourself.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
And I was really into it.
Yeah.
You know, I was born into it, so it's I didn't even know that I could think otherwise.
Yeah.
And a lot of it made sense, and a lot of it, you know, there was really some good parts about it. You know, lots of potlucks. I love a potluck.
We love a good potluck.
We don't even have enough potlucks.
Yeah, we don't.
You know, bringing it back this spring in the park. We're doing a potluck.
We're doing it. Let's do it.
Yeah, there was a lot of good things, but
I'm a good potluck person.
Okay.
I'm especially because I don't want to cook everything, but I love community. I love bringing people together. So the idea of everybody bringing one good dish. We have so much food. Sorry, I had to go back to that because I'm
so
it's
true.
real.
Please, because I want other people to get on board with this. It takes the pressure
Like,
off.
really?
You know, we're going to arrange a time and a place. You bring just one dish.
Just one dish.
You can bring a bag of chips if you want.
Really? Well,
if you're in a rush.
Come on.
If you're in a rush, I like some chips, too.
I'll take a White Claws over chips.
You can bring that if you're in a rush. Yeah, it's that community. The community thing. Yeah. You know, where it's like just a combined, shared good time.
For sure, exactly.
Simple, doesn't need to be extravagant.
No.
Let's just show up, give some time and space to each other.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, like I said, there were some good things.
Lots, yeah.
And I really, just really was in it. That was my community, you know? Even, it was to the point of, like, even at school, like, I would hang out with people at school, but I wasn't supposed to hang out with them outside of school. You know, I was supposed to hang out with church people after school. I was supposed to be preaching. It was really strong and insular.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say it was like like the most separated. Like I would, you know, sometimes I'd go out and play with the kids in the street. You know what I mean? Like, but it was just that whole air and energy of like staying separate from things because you want to be holy, you want to be pure, you want to be. So that's just what I was raised with. But there was the underlying, you know, love people, that whole thing, which I'm like, yes, resonate.
Totally.
I think a lot of us were kind of raised in situations similar, where like we were told, like there were some good things we were told, like, you know, everyone's equal, we love them, you know, but then there was like regulations that kind of contradicted that, and where it's like, well, you don't even want to. And that's, I think, where we got to this point as we were all growing up. Because I think a lot of us are facing or have faced something similar to this. Where it's like, okay, your rules and regulations, though, are kind of contradicting the love everyone thing.
Yeah. Totally.
So,
especially like organized religion and stuff like that.
Yeah, their rules override a lot of the principles. And then we're just like, I'm like, okay, well, you raised me on these principles, so I'm gonna go with those over your weird rules and that are like contradicting, you know. And that's where you get into like trusting yourself over like, you know, what someone else says. But I didn't get to the point of trusting myself until my early 20s, and I did like a really bad thing according to the church. I had sex for the first time. Like, that was the super bad thing, right? And I'm thinking, I'm early 20s.
Yeah.
I did the thing.
Yeah.
I waited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You did.
Let me do what I want now. And she's like, wait until you're old to make a good decision. You know? So I didn't even, when it happened, I was like, and I say this, it was not about the person or the setting or the time. Because let's be honest, the first time is never.
Rarely
never. Amazing.
Where sun shines and rainbows and everything we hoped it was.
Right. However, what it did for me was because I went against what was, again, what I had been told. And I was told I was going to, like, just feel such crushing guilt. I would be estranged from God at that point. Like, just so much shame. And I did it, and I was like, I don't feel those things. Yeah. And now I feel connected to a part of myself that I was cutting off and allowing someone else to have kind of dominion and like control over, right? The body of elders or whoever, you know, parents, whatever, were like telling me what I should and shouldn't do. And it's like, no, now I'm taking that on. And I didn't even realize. It was honestly, sometimes I say my body kind of pushes me to the next level because, you know, I was like, I'm ready. I'm an adult. I'm going to go.
Totally.
So that was kind of one of the first times of me actually taking a chance on myself and my knowing better. And yeah, it just kind of busted open this whole new part of myself that had authority over my body and my thinking, and realized I could think for myself and make decisions for myself. And it came all from my core. Like, I didn't need a book or a body of people telling me what I should and shouldn't do. Yeah. I could do that for myself and trust myself and make good decisions and live my life.
And know that you're a good person. You know, like, it's like, that doesn't change, like, you care for people, you volunteer, whatever you do, just like that you are just a good human being. Because, like, that's what I think. And that's what, I mean, I grew up very religious as well, and my thing was obviously being gay. Was like, wait, okay. And, like, I felt like, and I had my own like thoughts and like trials and stuff about it. But like also at the end of the day, when I was able to like trust, like, well, this is a part of me, this is who I am, and I'm still a dope ass human being. Like I still, like, nothing of that nature has changed about me. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, there literally was times when, like just the things that they kind of that can be repeated to you, in these organizations or within families or communities, that kind of get implanted in you, and it's like not even you. You know, that stuff's coming on. So I think as we grow, as we mature, that's our work of kind of saying like, what isn't ours? What was just kind of put upon me? What don't I have to carry on anymore? And that was definitely a big part of my turning that into something positive. Because with this, so okay, so I go on to do the thing, right? And I'm not even fully aware of everything that's going to transpire. I know what happens when you get in trouble. But for my own personal journey, I didn't know where all this was going to lead, right? So what I did know was after you do something wrong, you're supposed to go tell the elders, right? So I went and did that. And I'm thinking, like, I mean, at this point, stuff is kind of cracking open about, like, well, if they lied about this, and I don't feel all this badness and shame, and I, like, feel super, like, sexuality is, like, so connected to our, like, spirit and divinity, and, so, like, it really busted a lot open. Perhaps that's why they're trying to control it. Perhaps. But a lot of other things started coming up as questions now. Other beliefs and teachings within that organization. So, I did go and tell him stuff because I'm like, well, this is just the thing, and I'm definitely not the type to say I'm doing one thing but then be acting another way. So I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. Let me go and tell him. So I got in trouble. They kind of like said, okay, we're gonna take care of this quietly because it's your first, offense. And man, this is so wild. Like, looking back on it, it's just wild to think. And they actually were like, you're just really spiritually weak. We're gonna have like an elder's wife study with you and really build you up again, right? Re-indoctrinate. I'm saying this to show you like the level, right? So as I'm studying with this woman, bless her for trying. Bless her for trying. It's all unraveling. I'm like, this does not make sense anymore. Like the principles of like loving people and like doing what you know is good. Like that I resonate with, but these rules and these specifics don't make sense anymore. So a few months later, I'm like, okay, I can't live this. Like, I don't agree with this anymore. I can't live this way. And so I was like, well, how do I end this, right? Because I mean, my family, my community, it's all around you. Form of belief. And so I just went and had sex again. I was like, that'll take care of it. They're not gonna give me around after that. So, and then I went and told them again, and they were like, well, you're not repentant. Like, we have no choice. So I'm like, okay. And they actually, after that meeting, they make a whole announcement to the congregation. And stuff. Oh, wow. And they just say, Emily is no longer one of us. Oh my God. And then from that point on, everyone knows basically just not to talk to you, to shun you. Wow. So that includes family, friends, anyone who's still part of that organization. So forever? Unless you repent and come back and turn everything around according to their guidelines. Wow, that's so... That must have been that must have been a pretty cold, that must have felt really tough. No, it's, I'm what, over 10 years out now from that, so I have looked at it from all these sides and processed so much, but it was a very interesting time. Because I had seen this happen to other people before. And being in still at the time when I was seeing other people, I was like, oh, that's so sad. I hope they come back. But then me finally going through it, I was like, no, this is just a different choice for people. And it's unfortunate that this organization has decided to make, to use these measures to try and coerce and manipulate you into either coming back or staying. And unfortunate that a lot of people will go along with it because they don't want to face similar issues or whatever. So, but then at the same time, So I know I'm losing my community. I know I'm losing my whole belief system that I've had up to that point, family. But then on the other hand, I'm like discovering all this new stuff about myself. I'm like feeling like just so much new stuff to like explore and discover inside of myself.
It's a different freedom. There's a freedom to that.
It almost felt like I wasn't thinking for myself before that. And it's really wild to think because I had a whole life before that. You know, and I had friends and they were genuine, you know, and everything. But it's so interesting how one moment or one choice can really change so much.
Totally.
Yeah.
Wow. That's like so powerful though, because I mean like it takes so much to like kind of to leave that, you know?
Yeah.
Especially like the whole world as you see it at that point, up until that point.
Yeah. I think that's where being a Sagittarius comes in handy.
Really?
Because it's like, well, this is wild, but we're going to do it.
We're going to do it.
You know, you have to almost, you really did have to, I didn't realize at the time maybe, but I really was trusting in myself. Like, I was finally not trusting other people's opinions more than my own. And I'm so grateful for that and what that started.
Totally.
Because from that point on, I could start exploring and living and thinking just according to like what feels right inside me. Completely. Yeah. And it really opened up a lot. And yeah, there was, you know, then we get into the whole journey of just figuring out who you are and all of that outside of these confines and expectations and regulations.
Was the second time better than the first?
No.
Was it worth it?
No. The second time was a means to an end. I knew what I needed to do. It was like, It's gotten so much better since then.
Okay, perfect. That's good to hear. Good.
I did that was a lot of the self journey with.
And we'll talk some more, I hope, about some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, which brings me, did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did.
Yeah. Miss Rihanna's pregnant again.
The energy.
The
divine feminine, the maternal, oh my goodness. Yeah. And then the dancers were so exuberant.
Amazing.
That was everything I needed.
Such a great show. It was it was so funny because I was definitely one of the people like Googling, is Rihanna pregnant? Like, but everything was like she already had her baby.
Because she's been looking real good in this.
She has. And I love all of what's like, because she used to definitely be like a lot more like what people like theoretically want is skinny and beautiful and all that stuff. But I love her and her thicker beauty. Because I'm also like, it's like...
I feel like a lot of women are embracing just their more natural... Yeah.
And then I'm like, damn.
But
I'm one of the people that I'm like, now that... like my only thought was, so not another year of no album. Like another 2 years of no music.
You know, I'm so in awe of mothers that I'm like... No, this is the best thing you could do.
Yeah.
We're all going to learn so much. We're going to learn so much from her. Again, just from her. Look at how she took care of herself.
Yeah.
When she was pregnant before.
Totally.
So, like, this is the maternal energy that we all need to see.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true.
Yeah, it's just showing us how to take care of ourselves, how to do what's best, even when other people are pressuring us.
Do music and put out albums. Yes.
The best thing she could do is come out with lullabies and everyone just be like, take it. You're gonna listen, and I would listen to it.
I will too. Mm-hmm. Just because it's new music.
Give me some lullabies.
OMG. That's hilarious. Did you enjoy the halftime show though, as a whole?
Yeah. And it's interesting. One of my my partner's stepmom. Her cousins were the brothers that were playing against each other, so it was exciting. It was gonna be a win-win anyway. It was fun, and it was great to be around my partner's family and everything.
In the game, did you care? Are you like a football person?
No, I mean I go for the snacks. And I enjoy it. Like I do get into it because I mean there's so many complexities, and it's so funny how people who are into it can call off these stats and everything. I'm like,
really? I know.
I don't know how you do it. It's amazing. So yeah, while I'm there eating snacks, I mean, I'll watch and I'll get into it for sure. Yeah.
I'm like I play fantasy football, and so I never played up until like 4 years ago, and for me, that's my way to enjoy it. Because, like, I'm not just going to sit down and turn on the game to just turn on the game. Like, that's not... That's not me. But I'm like, okay, when I do fantasy football, like, I'm like, oh, I want this player to kind of do well. Or, like, because it's, like, it has some stakes to me or something. But then it's funny because I'll, like, try and be, like, in my straight boy, whatever, when I'm with some people. And I'll bring up football. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm playing fantasy. And then they start spitting out, like, oh, did you... And I'm
not
like,
that much.
I barely even know the people on my team.
How do you decide who you go with?
So, like, I actually, like, listen to, like, a friend of mine sends me, like, podcasts and stuff, so I have, like, other podcasts.
Oh, so you're actually doing it seriously.
I'd probably go like cuteness. This is the worst I've done in my season, this last season, but I've come in second, third, and almost first a few times. Yeah. Second and third I've come in, like, a lot, and then I almost won one. And then this last season was horrible.
So you've done it how many times?
Like 4 or 5.
Yeah, that beginner's luck. It's almost better when you don't know enough
it's
and
true.
You just go off intuition.
It's true.
Sometimes that hits better.
It's true. But, like, it changes because, like, people get injured and stuff like that, too. So, like, even, like, the people you have at the very beginning, sometimes they don't make it all the way through.
Yeah, and I'm so bad because I'll be watching and, like, people will have who they want to win. Yeah. And I'm like, I'll be like rooting for each side because I just want to see a good game.
I mean, that's fine.
And a good play is exciting no matter who did it. You know what I mean? Totally. Although, weirdly enough, when I was watching the Seahawks, I got real into, like, just this last season, we watched a game that the Seahawks were in, and I was like, I don't know what happened but that team did something to me.
You love it?
I might be a Seahawks fan. Yeah, but they were just so good. I don't know. Aww, maybe that's how you find it. You just whoever draws you, right?
I love their colors, so.
That's how it started. And then they were playing so good, and I'm like, yes. They didn't make it. I guess it wasn't their best season. But I was into, see, this is me. I'm just like, I'm not, it's just.
You're just kind. You're just like, I want everybody to win if they could.
I just want a good game,
There you go.
I just want some fun.
And I do sometimes choose, like, based on just hotness, too. So, I'll keep it real.
Yeah. It's definitely another draw.
So, actually, I have a little bag of goodies.
Oh, my goodness.
They're, like, just questions, random questions. I kind of was going to wait till the end, but I feel like we've already started some random stuff, so why not? I'm going to pick one, and then you pick one.
Okay.
I don't know what's even in here. I, like, add a few every time I get a new guest, but sometimes I don't take them out from the old ones, so, like...
No, I think that's good.
Let's see.
Just trusting.
Ooh, okay. Most embarrassing that's happened to you this year already?
Oh, gosh. I know there's so many things. I've gotten over being embarrassed because it just...
We're just used to it now.
Yeah. I don't even know if this has happened this year. It kind of did. This happens a lot. Mm-hmm. I identify as chubby girl who struggles with chairs.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, this is one of those things that I've just started to, like, laugh at when it happens.
Yeah. That's all you can do.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Sometimes I just have a whole situation with a chair. Or crack a toilet seat. It's like,
oh my goodness.
And it's embarrassing, but it's like, well, I got cakes. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Like, you know? Let's get over it.
You should be thankful. Real talk.
If a toilet seat has to die in the way, we can get another one. They're like $17. They're like $17.
So a seat is one thing. This happened to me years ago, and it, like, mortified me. I was living in Culver City. This girl, she listens to my podcast, so she'll hear. My old roommate Amanda. We had our own bathrooms, and her room was right next to mine, but, like, a hall. All this doesn't matter. One day I go to the bathroom.
Draw us a picture.
And I'm that person too, in a way, like, I'm, like, always terrified, like, I don't want the seat to break or whatever.
They're not designed for me.
And at this point, I'm just like, whatever, it happens, it happens. It's not like it even happens that much, but, like...
There are certain seats that I look at and I'm like, no,
we're not even trying that. We're not even. So one day I used the bathroom, and I legit just put the seat down. And the entire toilet cracks. the entire, like, water just comes and flows out. And Amanda just hears me scream.
And no one's gonna believe that you didn't sit first.
I was like, that's what I was thinking. And the first thing she comes out, I was like, I didn't even sit down. That was like the first thing I said. I didn't even sit down. And still to this day, I don't know if she believes me. But she's like, I did just hear the toilet seat. I did hear it. But
I feel this so much.
The entire toilet cracked straight.
Yeah.
I was like, bitch. And that wasn't even the first time I've ever used it. You know what I mean? So it was just like...
I totally understand that. And it's just at some point, you just have to get over it and be like... Yeah, this is probably going to happen again.
That is hilarious. Oh my goodness. All right. You pick a question.
Yes. I was in the desert one time and imbibing some natural shrooms.
Okay.
And at one point, there was so many seats around.
Yeah.
And you just kind of notice that more when you're...
you're like really...
Why are there all these chairs? And one I had a whole relationship with. I was like sitting and then it like kind of tilted a little bit and then like something kind of slid. And I'm just sitting there laughing it up with this chair. That. We had a whole moment in that chair. And it just like reminded me like, yeah, that's it. What is the worst date you ever went on? Ooh.
Hopefully it won't be tomorrow.
You have a Valentine date?
No. Oh wait, no, not for me. The question's for you.
That's I'm like a first date on a Valentine.
That's really smart. I should do like you ask one, I'll ask
I want to hear yours.
Okay, my worst date. My worst date. Oh my goodness. I kind of actually talked about this on the very first episode, but I was on it. So this is the weird thing. It wasn't like officially a date, but I did like me and this one dude. I just had a birthday. He came to my birthday. The vibes were there, but I got a little wasted. It was my birthday. Who cares? We're allowed, you know. So nothing really happened, but like after we both like were like, I'm into you. He was like, I'm into you. Let's see where this goes. So then like literally the day after we had that conversation, I was like, hey, one of my best friends is doing like, he's a singer songwriter. He's having a show. You should come. Like it'll be a vibe. And he was like, oh, cool. Can I bring friends? And I was like, yeah, you know. So like it wasn't like a date, but it was like we were like trying to hang out.
Yeah.
So later in the day, he's like, oh, like most of my friends bailed except for one. Is that cool? I'm like, yeah, even like whatever, super chill. He brings a date.
And was it like a situation like that?
It was very much like, I even went to my homie and I'm like, they seem like they're... Because like the person was already in the front seat, so I'm not going to like, you know, I just go in the back seat, he picks me up. And like as we're driving and it's close to like my house, the venue, and so I'm like, they're vibing up there. They're vibing hard. And he said they're friends, so I was like, okay, like, yeah, I mean, no. And then like later on in the evening, I'm like, dude, we gotta find out, like, how do these people know each other? They met on Tinder.
So and so I'm like, date.
Yeah.
That is pretty bad.
That was real, yeah.
That's just a straight up bad date.
It was bad.
Wow.
Yeah. Everyone, like, I was like, I gotta go. Like, literally after that, I was like so cold and so like, and like rightfully so.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a whole thing.
Yeah, if they don't get it, then yeah.
Yeah, it was a thing. And like he was like, well, I didn't know they still have feelings for me, and I'm like, no, we're not playing all this. No. We're not doing it.
This isn't my first rodeo.
No, I mean it was my second or third. But
not your first. Oh man.
But it's one of those things too, where like, and the time, and that's kind of like why I brought it up on the first episode, because it was one of my cold to diamond. Because at the time I was like mortified. It was a whole thing. Like I was like crushed. I really like this person, and then like it became one of my, like, most prized jokes because I brought it up, like, in a set one time because, like, that was, like, my healing of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, it literally for a long time was, like, in every set that I had because I, like,
Comedy
I just,
gold.
like, it was so, and it was so funny and everybody laughed and it was just, like, perfect. But it was just, like, yeah, probably worst day.
Yeah. Yeah. Nailed it.
I like this, like, passing it thing. I'm like, okay,
I think
because nobody really asked me questions, so, like, that's kind of dope.
Yeah.
Every, like, episode, I kind of come up with, like, something new, or, like, oh, that's a cool idea, and that's one of them. It's cool. All right.
Oh, my goodness.
And then, let's see. It's so funny, because I'm like, worst day? Oh, yeah, no. Okay. This is, like, I love this question. Have you ever peed in the shower?
Oh, yeah.
People say no
Is
sometimes.
that... Oh.
People
Should I be saying no?
No! This came out, like, they've heard me talk about it too many times, because a lot of people pick this question. I feel like every time I think I take it out, but I forget that I leave it in, and then...
I'm also the only one who cleans the bathroom, so, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Maybe I'm taking liberties there. But also, there's certain things that, like, that activity, if you're into that activity, say with other people...
Oh my goodness,
that's
should
the only
be
place
in...
you
Yeah,
should be doing
really,
it.
true.
Unless you got tarps, I don't know.
True. No, that's still too much cleaning. Still, if you have...
Right?
Like, you still have to, like, kind of puddle it up. Keep it in the middle.
I know. Did you see that, How to Make a Sex Room on Netflix?
No.
So it was so funny because people just kept, like, seeing me and telling me.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I love that this is the vibe I put out, that everyone's telling me I need to watch that show.
Hey.
But it was really cute.
Yeah.
And one of the people's request was she liked waterworks. So she's like, can we...
Use a tarp or...
No, they built a drain into the room.
Wow. Genius, but I wonder how long that won't smell for.
Well, you gotta wash and sanitize.
Okay, that's true.
I mean, I'm very big on, like, I like making a mess.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to?
Hey, no, we totally...
So I love making messes, but then I'm also, like, really...
Cleanly? Or,
like, I'm, like, really big on... I was gonna say anal, but, like,
really
big on, like... I'm really big on, like, clean.
Yeah,
you
have to
clean,
be. I mean, girl, that's my only way of life out here.
Right. I want this stuff to last.
Yeah.
And, no, I'm not saying... I said I'm anal about cleaning. Yeah, I feel like the back door is closed for me. I did too much of that when I was younger.
Sorry.
No, just cut this whole part out. No, but, like, that's also, I don't know. Okay, because now we're going to get more into, like, the whole, like, sexual journey and everything.
Yeah.
And for me, like, so much, you know, like, even before, like, I can imagine people having, like, toys or something and then being so ashamed that they just, like, shove them in, like, to me, like, it's all part of, like, almost like a ritual or, like, part of the whole thing. Like, the foreplay is, like, maybe, you know, making sure my toys are good.
Yeah.
And, like, afterwards taking care of them, like, respecting them so that they're gonna be with me for a long time.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
You know, there's a whole energy around sexuality and pleasure, whether it's with yourself or other people, that I think if we like lose some of the shame, it can just become this, like, beautiful thing of, like, I have gorgeous toys. Honestly, some of my toys are so gorgeous that it's like, I want people to see them. They're gorgeous.
Why shouldn't they be?
They're works of art, some of them, you know?
Yeah.
So.
We had a whole episode on, like, I forget the title of it now, but, like, normalizing, like, sex talk and, like, talking about sex and stuff like that. Just because, like, there is the shame that comes with it, but it's definitely, I think, like, it's part of our soul. It's part of the thing, like, how people express it. And not everybody expresses it the same way, but, like, your sensuality is a part of who I think I am and who we all are. You know what I mean? So to deny that part of yourself is also to deny a part of you. You know.
Yeah, when you start cutting off parts of yourself or trying to hide or repress parts of yourself, like, stuff just comes out in weird ways. Yeah. It's like a whack-a-mole, like, it comes out in another place and not healthy. If we can, like, drop the shame, work with dropping some of the shame, and then, like, finding healthy ways to partake and enjoy things that bring us pleasure. Like, that's major.
Come through.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, yeah.
Here's the last question here.
Yes.
And I'm going to have to update it for this year. Biggest goal of 2023.
Oh, biggest goal of 2023.
I know everyone wants to hear this. I'm sure everyone's interested in what you got going on.
Probably. People are nosy out there.
And it's not like you broadcast it to everybody.
Why do they care about my life, weirdos?
Tune in next week for more.
I know, literally. So the last few years I've done a lot more like commercial work, like commercial modeling per se. I shouldn't do that, but I'm still kind of like, you know, like it's so weird because like I'm not even gonna get into it.
No, please do.
I was just like, I still like, so I did the Nike modeling thing, which is like, I'm always kind of like, I'm a model bitch, but I always have this shtick of being like, I'm a model or whatever. I've modeled before just because it's like, I don't know. I'm still dealing with that like confrontation of.
Does it feel different to you? Is it the wording, or is it just other people's expectations of that word?
I think it's other people's expectations of the word, and also my own like. In the past, I was always like, people do like take one photo and put it up on Instagram and they're a model.
I'm not. Okay.
So I've always had that. And for me, I kind of have that thing about myself, like, it was only, like, one gig that I modeled, per se. Like, I've done other things, but, like, that was, like, the biggest. Mm-hmm. But either way, so I've done a lot more of those things.
I would so embrace that.
I know, I should.
Add it to the list. Here's the thing. Like, if you're gonna go labels, just keep adding them.
I know, really.
Just, yeah. Because we're all multidimensional.
It's so true.
So many facets.
There's so many facets, really. It's true. And, this year I really want to do more TV and film. Like, I really want to do more TV, film. Like, one of my goals of, like, was having my grandmother and my mom see me on TV, which, like, they've done now. But I really wanted them to see me, like, in a show or a movie. So, like, that's, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm holding that for you this year.
We're manifesting it.
Yeah,
We're
definitely
doing
having that way, for
Thank
sure.
you.
Good
Thank
job.
you, thank you.
That's beautiful.
How about you? I'll throw it back to you.
Last year, sometimes I hyper focus on something and then I mess everything up because you can't focus on just one thing too much, you know? Yeah. Well, I can't.
Yeah.
For me, that doesn't work good for me. I kind of have to like take a step back, open up the bigger picture and just let things flow. And last year, kind of to combat that hyper focus that I did for the first part of the year, towards the end, I was like, let me just be content.
Yeah.
With where I am, what I got, because I have so much. I'm so blessed. Like, again, it may not be what other people are looking at as like, oh, that's a marker of success or happiness or whatever. But for me, I mean, all the work I've done has just paid off so much in my life.
Yeah.
That I'm like, let me appreciate that.
Oh my goodness.
You know, and stay so there. And so that's really something I wanted to bring in this year. More creativity. I used to be such a crafty DIY beach, and I'm like really wanting more of that again.
Love that.
I love it. It's so fun just to create without expectations.
Totally.
And then collaboration. Yeah, just I you know, with my experience, I've definitely done a lot alone. Yeah. And I've learned to enjoy my solitude. Like, I really do. Like, we have such a good time. I have such a good time when I'm alone. Yeah. I love it and need it. And I actually, like, prioritize that time. But I love also coming together and collaborating on something. I think it's so much better than, like, what I could do on my own. You know, I bring some stuff, but I recognize that I need you know, we all need others. Yeah. So it's like, without a doubt. Sometimes with, like, self-work, people think, like, well, that's selfish. And then, like, really, you're just focusing on yourself. And it's like, I'm doing that so that when we do come together,
you're mad, you're glowing.
I'm a person. I'm a strong,
totally
fulfilled person. Yeah. And you're not going to have to pick up certain stuff for me. We can like really collab, you know? Totally. So yeah, more of that.
I love that.
Contentment, creativity, collaboration.
Oh my goodness, the 3 C's.
Love alliteration.
Yeah, me too.
Love that wordplay.
I was hearing it, I was like, okay, come on.
I told you, wordplay gets me going.
So you talked a little bit already about, like, especially like how sensuality and stuff kind of embarked one of your cold to diamond moments, but it's also been a part of like your journey and stuff like that. You just led a intuitive sensual workshop.
Yeah, I had one planned. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be honest. No one reserved for it, and I want you to keep this in because I want people to understand when you are doing stuff. Yeah. When you are creating stuff and putting it out there, there are gonna be times where someone doesn't show up for what you're doing.
Yeah, it's true.
Please keep this in because it is so important. So many people think when we put a lot of work into what we provide, what we present. Yeah. And it could be this great idea and you're like, everyone's gonna love this. Yeah. And for some reason, could be it was a busy weekend. Yeah. It's a new place I'm working with. There's so many reasons. Facts. It doesn't mean you stop or don't do that again. Completely. So what it is, and what I do hope to offer more, and it's kind of a similar process to what I do with my other workshops, my other New Beginnings and Transitions workshop. That program is so great, and we do cycle that through certain seasons. Not every season. I kind of intuitively do when it feels right. Up, well, it's a 12-week program, so it's like I do plan it out for a lot of times. It matches up with a season. I mean, a season is 12 weeks, perfect. So, but not every season am I able to show up in my best, so I won't do it if it's not good timing for me. Sense. So, but we've done that so many times, and it's so good, and it really is like. I feel like what I provide is just like I facilitate a kind of a time and place and space, and it's that so that you can come and do your work, right? Because we're all so busy that I know even choosing a time and a place to do this work can be really hard, and a lot of times it gets pushed out for people. Yeah. So a lot of the work I do is just creating that time and space, right? Love that. And then I like offer this like gentle kind of loose framework. For people to do introspection and to then talk it through and get other perspectives. And that's the same thing I kind of want to do with these sensual workshops of just kind of doing like tuning into ourselves, sharing some ideas and stuff, and then practicing a bit. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited for that one because that's a new one that I'm going to start I'm offering. But yeah, and then the New Beginnings and Transitions, that one's we've done before. I know I'm going to do it again because it's just so good. But yeah, I like these. I love one-on-one sessions. Love them. But there's something really amazing that happens in group.
For sure. Yeah. I think also like seeing how connected and similar people are too. Because I'm sure like somebody shares something or something happens and one person's like, oh my goodness, me too, or that I've had that same concern or thought, whatever the case may be. Yeah, that can help a lot of what we were talking about with the shame, right? A lot of us are afraid to even say certain things about how we feel or what we're experiencing because we think no one else is going to understand or we're weird for that. So yeah, group is really good for working through shame. And then also, I think it's important to realize that you may be in a group and someone's got a different perspective that you don't resonate with at all, and that is okay. Sometimes I think there's like this expectation that if things are going good, we're all gonna have this homogeneous like harmony of like same ideas. And the truth is like we all need to be our unique selves for sure, and learn how to interact with each other, still maintaining our uniqueness. 100%. And I think practicing that in group is really big too. So yes, you get the unity feeling of like someone else gets this, and then you also build up the skill of hearing someone's different opinion and not feeling like you have to enmesh with it and not feeling like you have to challenge it. Yeah. I love that.
I do too.
That's so needed in like just our world right now.
I'm not saying that everyone needs to take my workshop. But no, yeah.
But it's
beautiful. Every time I do the because I'm there, I'm showing up too. And I do the work with people too. Because I feel like if I'm expecting people to show up and be vulnerable, I need to be doing the steps with them. So, and it's lovely because this process is so ingrained in me. After everything happened and I had these kind of like cycles I went through of like trying something, maybe things worked, maybe things didn't, and I just realized that like change is really the only constant. That's what I've experienced. Real, you just get good at working with the cycles, and it almost becomes like, it just feels natural. It feels like the season's changing.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, every time I do these, I'm always amazed at the energy and the transformations that come about in group for myself and for everyone there.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. So forgive me if you kind of said this already, but how did this transpire you into becoming a life coach?
Yeah, no, I don't think I made the direct connection there. So after getting excommunicated and then like losing so many connections, right? I'm kind of starting from square one.
Yeah.
And there was about 3 years there that I was just kind of like, just trying things. And it was really rough. It was a fun and exciting time, but admittedly very, very rough.
Yeah.
You know, that those times of being alone.
Yeah.
I learned to be at rock bottom alone. And I think we all need that. Then there were also times where I had support. And there were different types of support. Sometimes it was mental health counseling. Sometimes it was a meditation leader. Like just different forms, friends. Just different forms of support. And I realized how valuable those were too. Like, you really need both. You need to learn how to deal with things on your own.
Totally.
You need to learn how to like pull yourself out. And that's rough. But then when you have that support too, it's like the breath of fresh air.
For sure.
Kind of the reminder, like, yeah, you will have times alone, but there's also going to be times where you're getting support, and that's going to, that's going to be there for you, and you have to learn how to deal with both. So I realized that I was so grateful for the support that I had received at certain times, that I wanted to do that for other people. And so I started, I was already taking, once I got kicked out of the church, I was able to go to college, because that was something that was not really encouraged.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I started taking classes here and there, and it was on the psychology track. And so I was doing that, and that was wonderful. Great experience. Took 10 years for me to get my bachelor's, but it was all part of it,
I'm still on my journey. I dropped out.
It feels so good. It feels so good, though, because you can go back, and you start again at any point. I'm the type where I'm like, every time I finish a degree, I'm like, okay, that's probably it. And then a few years later, I'm like, I gotta learn some more. I gotta go get some more. So yeah, well, that's to be continued. But yeah, and then I just started doing, I got certified to be a life coach. And when I got certified, I was like, okay, there's so much more that I can develop here. Because the certifications kind of give you like the starting point. And then you got to go and fill in extra stuff, what you want to specialize in, what, extra things. So yeah, over the like 10, 12 years now, I've just been kind of getting different pieces. And I was going to be a marriage family therapist. Okay. That was the point. But in my process, I realized I wanted to be less clinical and more relational, and be able to include a bunch of different frameworks and modalities and stuff. So that's what led me to doing consulting instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love it too. I'm finally at the point.
You are so much.
I'm finally at the point where I can say, like, it's my passion. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. Like, I'm not, sometimes you hear life coaching and you're like, oh God, what are they gonna say now? What are they gonna, what are they gonna try? And I'm just not ashamed of like what I do anymore. I love it so much. I think it's worthwhile, and I trust that the people who resonate and resonate with me and want to work with me are gonna gravitate.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be anyways. You don't want to force energies like that, or like,
No.
Yeah.
You don't want to force it
especially in that kind of space too. It's like a very close to like the therapist relationship, where you want that person to be open with you. You want to be open with that, Actually, I don't know about. That's why I didn't go
therapy route, was because there are a lot of more restrictions on how you relate and how you do your work, but I still respect it very much. I still use it. I think it's important, and if someone comes to me and I think that might be
a route that
something,
they should go,
if I feel like maybe that's the level they need, I will. Obviously, I have a lot of resources I can refer, but again, it's all about trusting your intuition, and deciding and following those inklings of like, this sounds interesting. Again, your inkling may lead you in a place that wasn't exactly what you were thinking, but you're going to get so much information there that your next move is going to be much more on point. It's all, to me, it's like calibrating that inner GPS,
Okay, totally. So for this new season, we've been having guests bring something for show and tell.
Please, can you just say a little bit more about this? Because I was like, it sounded like it was like maybe if you want, you can. But I love that it's like a requirement.
Okay.
I want to hear a little more about your thinking around including this, because I love it.
Yeah. Well, so my idea with like even the poem, and I asked one question at the very end to every guest. This is just one of those things that I feel like it makes it unique to every episode. Like, I asked around similar questions about, like, so cold to diamond moments and, da-da-da-da-da. But, like, this is very unique to every guest because I'm sure, like, you're not going to bring... Nobody's brought the same remote or, nobody's ever brought a remote. But I feel like every time it's going to be something different. And it kind of gives us a little insight to the guest and, like...
I love it. Yeah, it was such an interesting thing. And it does seem like kind of a... diversion, but like
it is. Well, like, it's my goal is with the podcast especially is like I want it to be inspirational in the idea, like just kind of like you said at the beginning, like giving that to everybody, like what we've learned in a way. And like I've learned that like we all have these moments, and especially being here in LA for so long, I feel like there's this kind of shame around the moments that we've had to build us up, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody has the most perfect life. Like, we all have moments of dropping the ball, falling down, saying the wrong thing, whatever the case may be. Life gives us those moments of change, and it's like, it's unexpected a lot of times. But, like, I also want it to be, like, kind of fun and enjoyable. Like, we can have these very deep, vulnerable conversations, but, like... I want us to still enjoy each other. I want the people listening to, like, laugh while this
it's
this
actually
all happening.
this is what I'm saying. It's genius, actually, because also, when you're talking about these moments, it can get, like...
kind of heavy.
Yeah. And so this, and this, like, I love it. You're mine, I'm excited to show you my...
I love it. Yes, bring it out.
Okay, this is actually my Palentine's gift to you.
Oh, shut up! Oh my god, stop!
And I feel like I went real kindergarten, like, nerding out on this, because this has no, like, real deep meaning to me. It's just, like, I'm obsessed with this thing.
Okay.
I mean, every time I use it, I have a couple of my own. Every time I use it, I'm like, this is the coolest thing. It's, like, such a nerdy thing. So you can open it. It's a Palentine's gift for you. It's so weird.
Oh my goodness.
You gotta rip into it.
Okay.
Because you gotta use it.
This looks really fun.
To see what I'm talking about.
OMG.
So it's called a heart massager, a warming heart massager.
Oh my goodness.
And this is part of the products that I'm now offering. Also, I'm offering those sensual education, wellness education, and products. Okay. So this is one of the items. But I've had this before I even started selling these products. I was like into this. Wait, is it hard?
It's hard.
Okay, so it activated in the thing. It activated while it was in the box.
Okay. So
here's the thing. How you're gonna reset it so you can use it again? Because now I wish we should have. I wish this was before. Okay, wait, no. So here's what you're gonna do. Okay. To reset it. Mm-hmm. Go from this point. To reset it. I want people to know. Okay. You boil it.
Okay.
Boil it. Don't let it, like, put it in enough water so it's floating, it's not touching the edges.
Okay.
What it's gonna do is it's gonna turn to liquid.
Okay.
And it'll be warm when you take it out, so it'll be nice. You can, like, put it on you, it's nice.
Okay.
The heat is, like, really, yes. If you're cold, got a little ache or pain, it's perfect. Yeah. But it's going to turn to a liquid. And then once it's liquid, you'll be able to, there's like a little metal disc in there.
Okay.
And all you do is hold it and kind of like bend it.
Okay.
And then it'll turn to that again. But it'll be warm for like 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a science experiment.
Oh, snap.
And
it's like a heat ice pack, like...
I love these things. I love these things.
Oh my goodness, I
Talk
love that.
Talk about simple little pleasure.
Yeah.
I used them just the other night.
And I love the color.
Cold. Yes.
It matches.
100%. So it's a science experiment.
Thank you
it's
so
fun.
much.
And then it's like a hot stone too, so you can like use some nice body oil.
Yeah.
And, Yeah.
And you offer these?
Yes, yeah. There's part of the products I'm offering now.
On a website or something?
Every link is in my bio.
Oh my goodness.
Do we have to keep saying that? I feel like, do we all know? Sometimes when I...
Oh, we know by now.
Okay.
I hope people know by now.
I mean,
there's probably 170-year-old that's listening.
I might get a tattoo. I think I'm going to get a tattoo somewhere because I'm tired of saying it, but the link is always in the bio.
The link is always in the bio.
Yes. So it's there. But... I really...
This looks
You
fun.
gotta tell me what you think about it once you do it, because it's wild. I love it.
I will.
Every time I use one, it's like...
Thank you so much.
I nerd out of it.
To all the other guests, nobody's ever brought me a present, so you're already winning.
Happy Valentine's. You deserve it.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. And it's meant for anywhere in the body, right?
Yeah.
I love that's called a heart massager because I immediately thought it was like...
No, I do. I use it. Yeah, I use it to warm. You can take it if it's a cold day, put it in your pocket. Like I said, it's really nice. It's kind of like a hot stone massage.
Yeah.
So oil it up.
Oh, with these dance videos that you like, I need it. Like the body's always needing it.
Yeah.
I'm like falling apart.
I'm not like... I don't ever want to professionally dance.
Yeah.
But I miss like the Gold's Gym, hip hop cardio. I miss those so bad.
Yeah. That's how I got into it.
Okay.
That's literally how I just was talking to somebody on Saturday about this. The class that I started taking, the choreographer, he taught at my gym. Like, and it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I thought that was like the choreo.
Yeah.
But just to find out that he was only teaching us half of it, because like we were like beginners at the gym.
Yeah, and I still struggle with the beginner moves.
So like no, I am and was, and so that's why I just started taking these other classes because I found out he taught them at like Playground and other like studios. Yeah. And when I started taking his like class at the studios, I quickly found out like, oh, he definitely was dumbing this down for us.
that's why I think I'm gonna stay at the gym because I'm not trying to excel at that.
Yeah, it's fun though. Like literally, I mean, people who like watch and follow me and all that stuff, they've like seen the videos, but like I swear in another life I'm like a Beyonce backup dancer of some sort. Like literally, I can't wait to have some kind of little baby human to put them in dance classes and be a dance mom.
No, it's really fun.
And they love it. Like, I'm not going to, like, force them into it, but I will very highly suggest it.
No, it's really fun to watch those clips you share. Like, again, just the exuberance, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's, like, it's, like you said, it's like we all have different facets. That's just one of those facets for me that I really found, like, wow, I love this. And, like... I did already a show where I've added dance, but I literally want to do more comedy and dance and music. Like, that's definitely a goal of mine. Maybe not for 2023, but, like, to incorporate. Because, like, I can't really sing. That's not my thing. But, like, I could make, like, a funny song and auto-tune that bitch.
And it would probably go.
You know? Yeah. Like, if freaking Britney Spears can do it, why can't I?
No. And please do... If I may make a request, please do a comedy show in the Valley.
Oh my goodness,
I'm so tired of going over the hill for stuff.
That makes sense.
I'm so tired. Please, here.
What's honestly really funny you say that is there's a venue that I already think would be perfect for it, and the only reason I haven't like pulled the trigger, so to speak, because I'm like, oh, it's in the Valley. Are people going to want to come to a show in the Valley?
I think we're dying for
more
comedy here. Please.
Okay.
I will be there.
Request heard.
No, because I go to a lot of comedy, so like I already make the voyage. If it's here, even more so. I go hard for the Valley.
And there's parking. But you get like for other people it matters so hard. Yeah.
That matters. Yes.
So you also brought some tarot cards.
Yes. Per your request.
Yes.
I brought my deck.
Well, I thought it would be really fun to do like a reading on here.
Yeah.
And I'm also a little slightly selfish. I'm like, well, this is the perfect time if you're here.
This is how we met.
Yeah, this is how we met.
Yeah.
And like we bonded so quickly, and you are amazing at like. I mean, really, I love that instead of like life coach, you really add intuitive, because like I feel like this really is one of those things too, where like. You have, like, I don't know, I feel like your energy, and it comes with, like, such, like, I trust your intuitiveness, you know, I trust that you're giving and saying things that are quality and of value rather than like somebody just like reading something, you know?
Yeah, I try not to say things if I don't mean them. But you know, sometimes we Sages do just get going. It's like don't listen to what I have to say right now. I'm gonna greet the cards. I just look at them all and count them. That's kind of just my intro. We do just a past, present, future. Just so for like this year.
Yeah.
Let's do just a 3 card.
Yeah. And then we can do like an hour reading after. No. OMG. How many cards should there be? Sorry. First time to ask a question.
78.
78, wow.
Yeah, and so it's my way to make sure that I haven't like misplaced one, and also I like looking at them each time. I call it just greeting my cards, but yeah, just a little refresher. So I'll give you my spiel so that everyone can hear it. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm an energy reader.
Girl, I was coming to get my future told.
I know.
Who's the next booking?
There's plenty out there. There are plenty of people out there who will tell a future for you.
Copy.
If you want that, go get it. Yeah. But what I do is I read the energy currently. Energy's fluid, so what we do has an effect.
Yes.
So I just read the energy currently. Energy is something we all tap into. You can tell when someone's having a bad day, without even them saying anything. You can tell, right? So I just use the cards as kind of like, I say I do like kind of Jungian. I just allow the cards to help me bring up the energy reading out of the subconscious, kind of.
Copy.
So, do a little shuffle here.
Man, I was really hoping you would tell me my fortune. At least give me the magic winning lottery number.
I'll tell you this. You don't have to try and tell a future for things to, that's the thing. I think sometimes with intuitive stuff, people are trying to force it into what they think it should be. You don't have to. You just let things come up.
Yeah.
It flows.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, and I'm really big on like, well, I'm super intuitive and, my readings really resonate and people are like, I'm not tooting my own horn, but like people are like, yeah, that really hits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have to try and force it. Okay, all right. Yeah, you don't have to force it. But the thing that I just do that is because you are the one ultimately, like you got the free will. Mm-hmm. I'm not the end all be all. I'm another reference. I'm another point of info, perspective. Yeah. With each card, I like to say like what the actual meaning of the card is, or as I work with them, because your situation better than anyone else. Okay. And I come with my own biases, so I like to acknowledge those so that they aren't again coming out in bad ways, right? We acknowledge it, it's there. Yeah. Sometimes they can be glaring, and I even notice that. I check myself. That's what I'm saying. I check myself because this is your reading. It's not,
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
You have to. You have to. So we'll go past, present, future. Okay. And the first card out is the 5 of Cups. Okay. And so this is in the past. Okay. So we've got kind of like a little forlorn person kind of looking at what's been lost. The important thing to remember is there's a couple things still there. Okay. They're looking at the spilled milk, but there's a couple cups still left there. Yeah. Cups are essentially, or commonly, love, emotions, feelings. That's what the suit represents. And then this one specifically, like I said, shows some loss, shows kind of a focusing on that, without realizing that there's still some good there. Yes, girl. 5s can also have like a spiritual, all of it's spiritual, but like kind of even more so a focus on like our spirit more than necessarily like the situation. So it can be something to clue us in to be like, yeah, there's loss here, but again, there's that diamond in there that we can find.
Yes. But that was in the past.
Thank goodness. that has 2020 written all over it. 2022.
I can see that. That is definitely a thing for me.
Yeah.
It's like focusing hyper on like what went wrong, what like lost and stuff like that, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we feel a lot of... Well, I mean, I'll speak for myself. Sometimes I feel like a lot of responsibility to figure out what went wrong.
Yeah.
How did this go wrong? And it's like, life happens. It's not always 100% on you.
Yeah.
But we can hyper-focus like it is, and then we're missing what's still around, what still has gone right, what we still did right, what we can use going forward, right?
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on right now.
Okay.
New year, new energy.
New year, new energy.
I love a new energy.
Yes. I'm about that life too.
Don't get scared.
It's like, who jumped out?
We have the death card.
Oh.
So again, initial meaning, yes, it could be about death. That's kind of like a final completion of a big cycle.
Yeah,
however, what it normally is usually like a death before a rebirth. In this, we think about the seasons changing, right?
Yeah.
Some stuff has to die off so that new stuff can come.
Facts.
So the energy I'm getting with this one is really, and with this too, just these together, is like,
those
let the stuff that is gone or going, let it go.
Yeah.
Really let it go. Really release it. Because you keep, there was just, it was just the new year of the trees. There's so many new years in the beginning of the year. I suggest using all of them to find that energy.
Okay, yeah.
I take every new year I can get. Yes. I take it. And it was, this lady was talking about pruning a tree, and she didn't want to prune too much because she was afraid that she would prune too much, that it wouldn't come back.
Yeah.
But she did it. She trusted. So she pruned it back, and it was one of the best growths she had because the energy could go to the new things, not the things that were sitting there, no longer growing.
Copy that.
Thank you, trees.
Yeah, thank you, trees.
Thank you, trees.
All right.
So that's a process, like that being something you're focusing on right now.
Yeah.
And like, this is where you can get into kind of somatic, and I love that you're doing dance because that can be a huge release.
Okay.
I mean, use that to release, not to tense up, but like go and like leave it out there. Let it wiggle out of your body.
Okay.
Because stuff can really stay in us.
Yeah.
I know I have the tendency to tense up and kind of like hold things, but things really need to work through.
Okay.
So, even like, I know it's silly, but like even this stance of just like throwing your shoulders back and just like, it's like just like letting that somatic release is important.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not all up here.
Yeah.
It's in our bodies too.
It's true.
So like practice releasing that however you can.
Okay.
Whatever's dead. Whatever's not
dead,
whatever's not growing anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever's just even like just stuff that is draining energy rather than growing from it.
Okay.
And then in the future, you have 5 pentacles. So, 4 pentacles, sorry. So, pentacles is about money, coin.
Okay.
It's also about resources.
Okay.
So, of course, resources, a lot of people first think of money.
I
know. But it can also be just whatever other resource. A big one is energy. Okay. Energy is a huge resource for us.
Okay.
So, this is for you're getting some resources, and because of remembering perhaps maybe not having so many resources, maybe you're holding on to maybe you're like holding it a little too tight.
We're being cheap.
Perhaps, because but it's about letting it flow, right?
That's true.
It's about letting it flow and not there's a balancing of like, okay, saving, not spending on things. Again, thinking about the pruning, like there may be times that we've used resources in the past for something we thought was going to give us, like fulfill us or give us something important, but now through our learning and growing and developing, when we get those get resources again, we're going to be a little bit wiser with how we use them and what actually is fulfilling and yields like good results. appreciates, you know, like if I'm thinking of like investments, like appreciates for us, you know. So it's not about hoarding it. It's not about getting so tight and scared like you're not going to get this. It's about letting it flow and being mindful with where we put our resources. And that's money, that's energy, that's our charisma, that's anything we have, you know, any of our resources. So it does feel like you're still putting in work, which I'm like, I'm looking at you like, I know how that is. Because my work never stops. The layers just keep coming. Yes. Layers, like an onion. I identify with Shrek. I'm like an onion. There's just more and more layers. But you know, I know this, like I said, isn't your first rodeo. Like, you know the process. You know, and you're just getting better at it. So just keep doing that. And like releasing what's not worthy, and then being mindful about where we're putting our resources, energy.
I love that.
Yeah, that feels good.
It does. And I'm actually really grateful for this reading being on here too, because I think it is really, for me, like, it's such a reminder of just like you said, the work, and like, especially like getting, what was the first one? The first one
was the five of cups.
Yeah.
With like 3 of them are spilled.
Yeah.
3 are spilled.
But still got 2.
Yeah.
And then death, and then coming into the 4 of Pentacles. Like there's a lot already that really resonates for me. Toot your horn, girl. Toot it. Because like there are moments, even with dance. So like dance classes are like, I'm loving them. But it's been one of those things where like, okay, I'm spending to do these dance classes and stuff. So a part of my brain, even in there, has been like, do I keep wanting to do this? Do I keep doing it? And I've just dived into it, like, because I'm like, this is something that's bringing me joy. It's an investment in my body and what I'm learning and stuff like that too. And I got an opportunity now interning so that I'll be able to like exchange time for free classes. So there's just been so many things too that have like really been in my brain, but like also like entrusting the universe, trusting the universe will provide, trusting the universe like is watching out for me and stuff like that. Enough, like I really have dove into it so much because I've been like, the universe won't what's the word I'm looking for? Like punish me, if you will, for diving into something that's so fulfilling to me and joyful and like brings out my light and who I, like, you know what I mean? I feel so good doing it. But there are moments where I'm like, And I just told my roommate and that like in my life right now, because like I booked this commercial and stuff in like last year, but I really haven't had like a job per se. And so I've been kind of in this like life of just like, I see a lot of money going out and like, you know, and just like, okay.
Yeah. But we're also Sages.
Yeah.
And you
know, we're manifest like royalty.
It goes and
like,
it comes back. It goes and it comes back.
Yeah.
And people look at me sometimes and they're like, that's wild that you're putting your money there. You're doing that, and I'm like, no, this is exactly what I need to be doing. That's the thing. It's not the hoarding. It's the being mindful about where we're putting the energy, where we're and trusting the flow.
Trusting the flow. Even outside of money, like you said, energy too is a resource that I always think about, like how much energy I put into certain things, and like for me, doing dry January and like other parts of my life where I've been seeing there's things that like really I thought served me before and like had a place in my life, but also I'm in this like transition of like there's certain things that like no longer I need for that coping or whatever and all this other stuff too. So like there was a lot there that I'm like, you know, I wasn't, when I saw death I wasn't afraid at all. I was more so like and even like with trying to lose weight and stuff like that, I think that there's a part of me too that like mentally has to like die off, if you will, to like grow and all this other stuff. So there's a lot.
It can be hard because sometimes what is dying off has been such a big part of us for so long. And we think, are we losing that part of ourselves, or was that never us? I mean, there's such a weird thing that kind of goes on but below the surface of like that transition.
Totally.
But if you look at what you're heading towards and you trust those inklings and let it happen and release and just trust. And if it's, you know, allow it to transform. It's such a dynamic process. It's such a dynamic process.
Yeah.
It's literally what I try and explain to people, and it's ephemeral. It's like, you're almost maybe not supposed to be able to succinctly say it because the magic is in the process.
Yeah.
And you don't really know and can't really explain until you've gone through it and you trusted it. Like, that mystery is so, you gotta respect the mystery.
Gotta respect the mystery.
And trust yourself, and that you have that connection to whatever. I think someone probably already Sorry. Someone probably already beat us to that, but yeah, and just trust that connection. Really, your core is not gonna, if you're honest with yourself, your core is gonna get real tuned up.
Totally.
And just experience and trust yourself on your journey. You've got everything you need.
Ugh.
Everything else you'll find along the way.
Appreciate that. Means you guys too.
Yes.
Is there anything I haven't asked that you wish I had asked?
No, I just feel like we could talk for hours.
We really could. And
I feel like that's probably everything.
It's so. What's crazy is I don't know if like this is the moment to toot my own horn or something, but I feel like this season has, like, all of my episodes have been a little bit longer, but I think it is because like the energy is just like we're making, like, before, not to say like last season or other seasons weren't great, but I also feel like I was kind of like, should I ask this? Or like, I was a lot more insecure about like my ability to ask questions or engage or like whatever. But like with the fun games we have, with the, like, there's like such a flow that's happening that like I think we really could be here for 2 hours and not even realize.
Yeah, no, I feel like you are really trusting your intuition with this, and that's another thing. Like, you can your intuition, once you got it, once you have that relationship with yourself, and you know yourself, like, it shows in everything you do, and it just makes everything flow, and I can see that. So I think this is just a culmination of the work that you've already done, and it's just getting better.
Thank you, love.
Yeah.
So I asked every guest one question at the very end. We've all heard the quote, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." What's the change you wish to see, and how are you going to be that?
Okay. So I thought about this. I gave me a heads up on this one.
I did.
You. But you know what? What I kept coming back to is, first, I like the word change. I love clearly from my life, I've learned to embrace it.
Yeah. And
just see it in the natural world around me, and I love it. What helps me embrace those changes and just be the best I can be is just being human. Like, I just want to, I don't want to try and come into things with preconceived notions or certain expectations. Like, I just want to show up and be me and trust that what happens needs to happen is going to happen, and I'm going to react how I'm going to react, and sometimes maybe it's not going to be right the first time, or like you said, maybe I'm going to put my foot in my mouth or whatever, but I know enough about myself and I trust myself enough that I can handle whatever, and I just want to show up in that way with people. I don't want to come into things with like preconceived notions. I just want to be human.
Yeah. I love that too, because it's like kind of what we shared earlier. I said earlier, and like what I think we need more of is that like embracing each other's uniqueness and realizing like we're not all gonna like come to that agreement or whatever, but like respecting each other. And I think that like comes with being just human and realizing other people are also just being human. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think the whole process of introspection, where you, and that honesty with yourself, where you get to like really face the parts of yourself that I call are less desirable. Yeah. The parts that we kind of don't want to acknowledge for a long time, or whatever the case is. When you acknowledge those, you learn how to work with them, so they don't come out in like unhealthy ways, and then you get this grace of that understanding, and then you can extend that to other people. Totally. We're not all good. We're not all bad. I love this quote. The line of good and evil runs directly through every person. Just right. Yeah. It's within us. Yeah. You know, so we gotta dismissing people. Right. Yeah, so this whole thing of like writing people off, because one of the facets, and I love the diamonds because diamonds are cut with facets, right? So you can see like different angles and different shimmers and reflections. Writing people off because of one facet, I think, is just really reductive.
Yeah.
And I think it shows a lack of understanding of the human condition.
Yeah.
And ourselves even.
Yeah.
Because we're not all perfect.
No, not at all.
Like, we all mess up, and
yeah.
I mean, look at where I came from. I had a huge paradigm shift.
Yeah.
You know?
Huge.
I believed a lot that was just put upon me.
Yeah.
And eventually at some point I was able to start thinking more for myself and like going according to that. But, you know, that experience for myself also helps me extend a lot of grace to other people because it's a journey, man.
It really is.
It doesn't end until it ends. Thank goodness, because I need time.
Yeah. That's so perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on with me.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God.
It's so good to reconnect and see you again.
Really.
I know life gets so busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this was beautiful. And I'm so
great.
proud of you, and I'd love to see it.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see more.
Thank you. Like,